It is believed that many ethnic groups in South Africa have long-standing beliefs about gender roles, and most of them are based on the premise that women in South Africa are less important or less deserving of power than men. Some believe that African traditional social organizations focus on men and are dominated by men. One of the prevailing caricatures of African or religious beliefs includes a strong emphasis on the theoretically biblical notion that women's contributions to society should usually be approved by or on behalf of men. It is even claimed that modern sexism and Christianity were introduced to South Africa by the ancestors of the Afrikaner diaspora. The economic and political developments of the 20th century presented South African women with both new obstacles and new opportunities for influence. For example, labor needs in cities and mining areas often distracted men from their homes for several months, and as a result, women carried many traditionally male responsibilities in the village and at home. Women had to guarantee the day-to-day survival of their families and carry out financial and legal transactions that would otherwise be reserved for men. Until the end of the 20th century, the rights of married women remained restricted by law. Family law gradually changed throughout the 20th century, with white women being the first to receive rights, and black women in ordinary marriages being the last. Marriage law for most of the 20th century was based on the Roman Dutch legal concept of marital power of the husband, the doctrine according to which the wife was legally incapacitated under the tutelage of the usufruct, tutela usufructuaria, of her husband. Marital power included the husband's power to manage both his wife's separate property and their common property. The wife could not leave a will, conclude a contract, file a lawsuit or receive a lawsuit on her own behalf or without her husband's permission. A report by the Women's Legal Affairs Commission in 1949 led to the adoption of the Matrimonial Affairs Act in 1953, which improved the legal status of wives by limiting marital power, but did not abolish it. The Matrimonial Property Act of 1984 abolished it in prospective, i.e. for marriages concluded after the law came into force, but not for marriages between black people. The 1988 amendment abolished it prospectively for marriages of black people under civil law, but not for marriages concluded under customary law. Another amendment in 1993 abolished the marriage authority for all civil marriages, whenever they were concluded. However, marriage power remained in Transkei, which was nominally independent from 1976 to 1994, but the High Court in 1999 declared it unconstitutional for civil marriages. In 2000, the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act of 1998 came into force, abolishing the marriage authority for all customary marriages throughout South Africa. Other important changes adopted by 20th century legislation include the abolition of the concept of marital restitution by the Divorce Act of 1979, Act No. 70 of 1979, as well as the adoption of several specific laws against domestic violence in the 1990s. See Domestic violence in South Africa. South Africa outlawed marital rape in 1993. The 21st century has seen different concepts about marriage. In 2006, South Africa became the 5th country in the world to allow same-sex marriage.